How open are you to give and get the lowdown? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 1701 of What You Up To Now. Documenting the journey, the business journey primarily as a transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business. And not a small amount of time in either. I came on the online world in 2017, so I've been here 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 5 plus years. And prior to that, I spent 4 decades plus, almost 5 decades now, running and growing and building different businesses in different industries, as well as over a quarter century of that time simultaneously working in corporate America for some of the coolest companies on the planet, some of the biggest household name companies, as well as privately held really big companies. And I'm talking, a couple $100 million plus companies, and this was 20 years ago or more. So really big companies, one of the biggest corporations in the world I was a part of, and learned a lot in corporate America, and also learned the power of having something on the side, the power to make moves and changes in your career that other people were too afraid to make, because I had a safety net if I wanted to move from job to job or position to position and industry to industry, and realize that there's a whole lot that goes on in each industry that's different and similar, and how easy it is to actually transfer our skills and abilities and who we are and how we work as a person to different industries and different businesses. And that's everything we know we've learned. We weren't born knowing anything we know, and our abilities and skills can be applied to a lot of different places and a lot of different situations, some more valuable than others, right? Some organizations find my skills and abilities really, really valuable. Others would think that they're worthless and they don't mean anything, mostly because they don't care, or they don't want to improve, or it's not a priority for them at the time. So today we're focusing on the area of communication this month as part of the annual challenge, the BU 365-day challenge. And our topic today was openness. How open are you in communication, both giving and receiving? And it's defined as being receptive to what happens and consider seeing it as necessary for your growth. I actually really like that definition. I think it's an excellent definition, and it's a way to help us to continually improve in the area of communication in a way that is both giving and receiving, right? We need to give what we want to get in the world, or we're not going to get it. That's what I've come to believe. So we talked about openness today, and I shared different ways to be more open, and we are rating ourselves on a scale of 1 to 10. I like to obviously rate myself on a scale of 1 to 10, not comparing myself to anyone else, but comparing myself to myself, because then I have a measure and an ability to take action and see if it improves me or not. Is it subjective? Yes, but it's a way of taking something that's totally subjective and quantifying it in a way that I can make it actionable. It's just a little trick I've played on myself for a really long time. A lot of people remember, think of the movie 10 and how guys used to rate women on their looks and their appearance on a scale of 1 to 10. Same kind of thing, but I apply it to lots of different areas and aspects of my life. Is beauty subjective? Absolutely, positively. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your looks? Good looks. 10 would be a 10, like Bo Derek. Isn't it Bo Derek? I can't remember now. In the movie 10. Or, I don't know, the Hunchback of Notre Dame might be a 1 or a 2. I don't know. That's a weird example. But you understand what I'm saying. So we talked about that. Then we talked about getting and giving the lowdown, meaning the information, the pertinent information, the facts, what's really important that we need to know. Do we give that information out to the people that need to know it in order to do the things we need them to do to interact with us in a positive way in our life, or do we withhold information? There are a lot of people, and I learned this in corporate America, and I learned it as a kid, and I learned it as part of my education. There are people that believe that information is power, and sometimes it is and sometimes it's not. And they believe that if they have the information and they know how to do something and they keep it a secret, nobody else is going to know or figure it out, and that gives them power over the other people. And sometimes it does, right? Think of inside information and stock trading. People that have inside information can make a whole lot of money that people that don't have that information can't make, because they're not privy to and they don't have that information available to them. People have to know and understand certain things about life, about work, about their relationships in order to make them work. If somebody in a relationship is keeping secrets and they're not giving information, or they're withholding love, or they're withholding attention, it negatively impacts the relationship. So to give or get the lowdown, I mean, it's really fascinating to me that how much information, well, number one, that's available nowadays. I think you can find out how to do almost anything you would ever want to do by researching it and looking online these days. Almost anything imaginable you can have access to, both the good, the bad, and the ugly. You can have access to that information if you so choose. And it's what we choose to pay our attention to that matters the most in terms of who we are and who we're becoming, and how we're going to show up in the world. But I like the information. I like this idiom, get or give the lowdown on something. Don't know that I've used it a lot. I'm sure I've said it before. I know what it means. I've heard it before. But I mostly would say, hey, tell me about something, or, let's talk about this topic. Or I'd ask specific questions or open-ended questions if I want to be more open and get more information. So it's a good idiom. It's been around since the early 1900s. It's been around, lowdown's been around since 1540s. As far as meaning different things are higher or lower than other things, literally physically lower down on a social scale, on a behavioral scale, on a comparison scale. Hey, it's lower down on the shelf, right? It's on the load. Give me the lowdown on where this is located, etc. So it could be a physical location, or it can mean just tell me the facts. Tell me what's going on here. Tell me the scoop, the real information, so I can do what I need to do, or say what I need to say, or interact in a way that gives me a better chance of doing what you want, because I actually know what it is that you want. So I think openness and getting the lowdown definitely have a lot to do with each other. Super busy day today. I already met with 2 consulting clients, and so because they had big problems that were emergencies. It's part of why I love the Voxer app. If you've never heard of that or used it, it's a walkie-talkie app, and people can just push a button and ask me a question, and we can have a quick discussion about it, or I can hit the button and respond my thoughts, and then if they want to talk to me more, they can ask more questions. So while I'm getting ready in the morning, I can actually work with consulting clients before I even do my videos, because they don't have to see me. They just can talk to me, which is, I think, more efficient. If I can help you in any way, if there's any questions you have, hit me up. Always open to answering questions. Again, if it's a personal type question, hit me up on Voxer or direct message. If it's something more general that other people could benefit from, ask in the comments, because or send me, you can send me a direct message if you're listening to me on Facebook, but ask in the comments so other people can learn as well. I find the more information we share, and I like to give out a lot of information, right? I find the more that I share, the more I learn, and the more I have to share. And I think that is coming at information from an abundance mentality, realizing that there is so much information available and such an abundance of information, just like nature. It's silly to think that anyone wants to hoard information nowadays, and so I find it kind of fascinating. Anyway, have an awesome day. If I can help you, ask what. I'll be with you tomorrow.